Okay. So Ravi, do you want to welcome the members?
Yes.
ICF chapter.
Welcome everyone, and thanks for joining us. My name is Ravi Panetkar. I lead the team and group coaching community of practice for ICF Bangalore Charter Chapter. The duration of today's masterclass is 1.5 hours, which includes 30 minutes demo on team coaching supervision. Today's masterclass entails 1.5 CCUs, which means a full 1.5 core competency. Participants who attend the full session would be awarded CC certificates by the chapter. So now let me introduce Inga. Inga is a master certified coach, a team coach certified by both ICF ACTC and EMCC ITCA, and a business trainer. In addition to that, she serves as an ICF mentor coach and an ESIA EMCC coach supervisor. She specializes in supporting individuals and organizations globally, particularly those dealing with remote and culturally diverse teams, as well as communication challenges. As a coach, Inga helps teams overcome barriers, navigate processes, resolve conflicts, and develop a clear mission and vision. Inga's deep understanding of cultural diversity significantly enhances her ability to manage and collaborate effectively. Based in Silicon Valley, she is adept at preparing engineers and leaders for the VUCA environment. Beyond coaching, Inga contributes to Forbes and Newsweek US editions and has authored 2 books in Polish as well as co-authored in Polish and English, aiming to enrich leaders' perspectives. I'm both thankful and grateful to you, Inga, for taking the time to host the masterclass on team coaching supervision, the hygiene factor for team coaches. Welcome once again, and over to you, Inga.
Thank you, Ravi, for this very detailed introduction. We can say, I always joke when I look at the slide introducing my name, that I'm definitely some kind of certification junkie, you know, ICF, VMCC, and so on. But you as an active coaches probably have exactly the same feeling that we need some kind of external support to help us understand if we are doing a good job as coaches. And I think that this is even more important when we think about the team coaching, because it is new and evolving space, even though it's been with us, I think, for over like 15 years now, when we start consciously transition from calling it process consultation, because it used to be called this way. And if you are interested in this, I always recommend books by Edgar Schein from 80s or 90s, extremely useful for team coaches, but he called it process consultation. So he called himself process consultant. And team coaching as the idea maybe showed up, let's say, 15 years ago. So it's pretty new element. That's why we need all of these bodies to help us think about what team coaching is and isn't. And I'm very happy that ICF introduced some tools for us to navigate that. Okay, so maybe I will as well let you know that we're going to do demo, and I already met with Fiona, who will be my supervisee during this demo, so in the full disclosure. And as well, I would invite you to think about the demo as a unique way to observe something, because even though we will try to show you something very real in the moment, it's still a little bit artificial, meaning there's this fishbowl experience. We know that we are observed. There is this element of stress there. So demo is for us to ask all possible questions. And I always invite people to ask me, Inga, would you do exactly the same if it weren't demo? Or what would be different that if it was a session? So remember, ask all the courageous questions, challenging questions afterwards, because this is the only way we learn. And demo is a very specific form. So there is an element of something artificial there as well. Yeah, so I'm happy to discuss it. But team coaching supervision, we know that we're going to have live demo, but why we call it hygiene factor? What's going on that this word hygiene is used in the title of the session today? Okay, because when this training, ACTC, so Advanced Certification Team Coaching, was introduced, we ask ourselves, why do team coaches need team coaching supervision? Like, why ICF suddenly, out of the blue, mentioned that if you want to take this certification, and it's like 2 years old, I took part in a pilot of it when it was getting born, but why coaches, in order to get advanced certification in team coaching, why do they need this hours of supervision? Why? 5 hours. Why not mentoring? Okay. And there are a few things which we need to think about. Yeah. First of all, mentor coaching would not work in this concept because I can't imagine that a team would allow me to record the session. And you know, mentor coaching is actually recording the session and talking about the competencies visible there. ICF created a set of competencies for us. We've got the document. I will refer to it today. At the same time, it's not how it works. And as well, when we really think about team coaching, it's much more complex than individual coaching. So team coaching supervision offers, because supervision is all about dynamics, power, relationship, you know, how am I as a coach in this space? And supervision has a little bit different tools than mentoring. It's not only about the craft, it's as well about psychology, it's as well connected with understanding the groups. It's very much about looking for parallel processes. I will explain it to you in a minute. Okay, so mentor coaching wouldn't be enough. And as well, there will be this tactical problem with recording. But when I think about this 5 hours of supervision with eligible coaching supervisor or ICF mentor coach, there are certain, you know, when you get deeper, there are certain requirements, what this person has to have, like 60 hours of training or be certified like me. I'm a certified supervisor with EMCC. So there are certain requirements there, but why? Because when we look into ICF team coaching competency model, there is competency 2, embodies a coaching mindset that tell us clearly that a coach who would like to meet this competency engages in coaching supervision for support, development, and accountability when needed. So it's almost, if you really want to make sure that you follow with competencies ICF crafted for team coaches, that's the one which is out there. And 5 hours, from my perspective, is a minimum of work. Okay, so let me maybe check quickly if you could just say yes in a chat box if you are an active team coach. An active team coach for me is somebody who's got a training and does at least 1 team coaching process a year. So please write yes if you are an active team coach. Let's check first. How many active team coaches do we have in the room? Okay, we've got yes, we've got no yet. Okay. Great. So we've got the group of people who are active team coaches. Yes, Scrum team coaches, it's the same. I work most of the time in tech environment, and very often Scrum coaches, Agile coaches, and as well leaders in tech, when we have like thinking about more mature, like so-called self-organizing teams, they actually have a training in team coaching. So yes, that's all there. Okay, so I hope that maybe that's a question for people who written no. No meaning I am just, probing or sensing if team coaching is for me, or I'm in the middle of training, or maybe I did some training some time ago, but I'm not practicing right now. So how is it for you? Who'd like to unmute themselves and share? Are you, exploring, great. So you're exploring. Who actually did the training, but it's not practicing just yet? Is there anybody like that in the room? Exploring team coaching, exploring, yeah, absolutely exploring. So I hope that you get, a little bit interested in it if you learn what kind of support team coaches get from supervisors. Because I and Ravi, I hope that you being the person who is organizing community of practice around that, and there are plenty of coaches all over the world, we believe that team coaching is the future of coaching. Ravi, you're nodding.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah. So I hope that after this, you understand that, okay, team coaching is not esoteric, and team coaches get this great support in the form of supervision. So they are not alone with a team, because that's what I want you to understand. Very often when I see, as a mentor coach and as a trainer as well, great coaches are out there, and I talk to them like, okay, maybe that's a great idea for you to become a team coach. You could really support your clients. You've got great ear listening skills. You're very courageous as a coach as well. And the person tells me, oh, but all of this team dynamics, all of this conflict, I'm not really good at it. I don't want to really do it. And I always say then, here comes the supervision. Team coaches are not alone at their work because of this problems and challenges with groups, with people, with power, with privilege, with, different kind of manipulations and impacts within the team. You've got supervision to help you out. So if you're exploring, but you're worried that you might not be well versed in all of these things yet, remember that after training finishes, you've got team coach supervisors to help you out in the way. And I can tell you that I train supervisors as well. And there are a lot of great supervisors in India as well. So it's not that you have to, look for services outside of your country. You can really, really work with great supervisors in India. I can see a hand up. Anurag, anything to add?
Yeah, hi. Yeah, yes. Hi, Inga.
Hi.
I'm an ICF PCC coach. I've done group coaching, but when I look at and I don't know much about the team coaching competencies. I'm just wondering that when we look at CC2 in a typical ACC PCC format, and we're looking at open-mindedness, curiosity, flexibility, and customer centricity. So, how does this team coaching competency really become different in this context compared to an individual context?
Okay, so first of all, and thank you for the question, because it's a really good segue to move forward. This framework is prepared. I will go a little bit further. So this framework is a little bit different and a little bit similar. A little bit different because apart from the description of the core competencies, and actually these are exactly the same 8 core competencies, however, they are explained from the team coaching perspective. So you've got ethical conduct, you've got coaching mindset, you've got agreements, you've got listening, you've got facilitating client growth, you've got coaching awareness, trust, and exactly the same names. So if you look at the individual coaching, ACC, PCC, MCC, when you prepare for exam, you look at this competencies in individual, the names, categories are the same. However, they are explained from the perspective of a team coach. What is different is this. The document which introduces team coaching competencies starts with this explanation. And suddenly we understand that ICF, if they grant you ACTC, Advanced Certification in Team Coaching, they understand that you are fluent at some of those areas, because most of the processes we do combine different team development modalities. So that's the difference there, Anurag, yeah? That we look at and we say, okay, team coaching is there, team coaching is longer. You know, the process is you work as a team coach by yourself or with somebody else, but you can add this elements to your work. And very often when I work with a team, I actually do the team building at the beginning. So 1.5 days just to kick off us, and I use my team building trainer skills. Yes. Then we go into team coaching. And if somewhere on the way, I see that there is a need for team training, I usually have a collaborators, people who I can suggest to a team, like, okay, we see the team realized during team coaching that they need to improve feedback skills. I have some collaborators, people I work with, who I recommend to the team, and team has a training within. So I'm not running this training, but this is the part of the process, as you're going to see later in the model I'm going to see. So that's the difference. But Anurag, if you look at the competencies, they are actually exactly the same competencies. You have to be curious, you have to be able to listen, you have to be able to create good contracts. However, here contracts in team coaching are a little bit wider. It's not only contract with a client, so team and a leader, but as well contract with organization and stakeholders. In contract, you need to be sure that you explain all of these roles in between people. So you know, they are translated. And by the way, for everybody who is curious, when you get to the ICF website, maybe Ravi, if you could find the link for people, that would be great to share it in the chat. You've got team coaching competencies translated in a few languages. They unfortunately are not still in Polish. I'm originally Polish. So whenever I talk to ICF Polish chapter about that, they don't have Polish translations. So I don't know if they're going to be your native language there. However, English version is available for everybody. So I would, if you even exploring, I would start looking at this document and thinking, okay, what is similar, what is different? Okay, Deepka, I can see your hand up as well.
Yeah, thanks,
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome, Anurag.
So this may be a very basic question, but essentially like in ACC, you have a certain criteria of 100 hours and 10 hours of mentoring. Here I could see that we need to have 5 hours of supervision. Other than that, for ACTC, how many hours of training and mentoring and supervision is required? What are the criteria for getting that certification?
Yeah. Okay. So maybe let me share the screen. Let me leave this screen. Let's stop sharing here, and let's clean it a little bit, because these are all very valid questions. So in the area of topic which I'm going to focus on, so supervision, there is only one requirement. That as a team coach, you have to have 5 hours of supervision, at least, yeah, when you apply for that. So in the process. However, let me go here. So already Ravi put the ICF coaching ACTC. Ravi already put for you the document. So this is the PDF document. And then let me share the screen with this information as well, and I will put it in the chat for you. So when you go to the ICF website, I hope that you can see it. Yeah. When you go to the ICF website, you've got the whole thing, which is next to credential pass, ACC, PCC, MCC, we've got team coaching.
Okay.
Yes. Of course, you've got all of this about the exam thing, but look here, you've got exactly who is eligible. So you need to have, because this is advanced certification. So there is no, like in regular coaching, you've got first, you know, you are associate, then you're proficient, then you master. No, here we've got just one advanced certification. So you need to be already credentialed with ICF. You have to have ACC, PCC, MCC already. You have to complete 60+ hours of team coaching education. either ICF accredited and non-accredited. So since this ACTC training was introduced, a lot of schools got team coaching credentials. I don't want to recommend any, but I can tell you that if the school got credentials from ICF, it's very legitimate from my perspective. I know, and I collaborate with some of them. As I say, I'm not here to sell anything, so just look for credentialed schools. And 60+ training is, all of the schools already implement supervision there. So you've got team coaching supervision. However, you might be like me. I took part in the pilot. So there were no accredited schools there. So I was combining non-accredited hours of team coaching. And the first training I did, it was like in 2014 with Peter Hawkins. It didn't have any credentials whatsoever. So I collected all of these hours. I had more than 60. And I did my own supervision. So that was my portfolio. And as well, when you look at the at non-accredited hours, because I believe that some of you might be like me, you've been learning about the team coaching for some time, and you don't want to invest in the school because you already had a lot of hours. So now what you have to do, you have to just find a supervisor. And as well, ICF is not accrediting supervisors just yet. So that's why I look for the supervisors who got credentials from EMCC. So that's the eligibility. But let me maybe stop that space, because today we just focusing on teeny tiny element of this eligibility supervision. Yeah, because that's the small part, but it's so different from all of you are experiencing from the mentor coaching perspective. Yes, mentor coaching, you work with a recording. In mentor coaching, you really dig into the craft. Yeah, like this competency, or did you meet criteria or not? Is it the missed opportunity or not missed opportunity? Yeah, so that's a little bit different work. In supervision, first of all, you don't record anything. Fiona will be my client in a minute. You bring the case, and then supervisor needs to help you to look into this case in order to reflect on it. And what do we use in to do it well? Okay, let me go back to my presentation. I will be jumping a little bit. This is how it usually is, you know, there is a plan and then there is a delivery. Yeah, sometimes things go in a little bit different direction. Yeah. So I hope that you already understand. Let's go to the presenter view. I hope that you can see it well. Let's move you here so I can see you here, everybody. So I hope that you already understand that ICF, whenever you're going to ask for this credential, they understand that you combine different methodologies. As I showed you, yeah, that it's okay to have team building, invite some trainers, or do some mentoring and consulting, but you have to have clarity how many hours are clear team coaching there. That's what you have to have. But as you can imagine, combining different modalities creates a lot of different challenges and problems for team coaches. Yeah, because one moment I am a team building trainer, and then I have to behave as a team coach. So ask questions, challenge them, share insights, and so on, so on. So it creates a lot of different challenges for us as team coaches. Yeah. So first of all, we need supervision, because in team coaching, there are very complex relationships. It's not only that you've got these people in the room, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12. And sometimes when I work with governmental agencies, both in Europe, connected with European Union, and here in States, there are even 40, 50 people in the room. And you don't do it alone, by the way. Yeah, you combine with some other team coaches, and they consider themselves a team, even though you know that this is really a team of teams. But they think that we are the team. We need to combine, collaborate together. So there is a lot of complexity, but it's not only complexity connected with these people you've got here in the room, like leader and team members. You've got the systemic context. This team exists in the system, in the organization. These people have like the team has some collaborations with other teams, with higher ups, with vendors, with clients. So this is all like, oh my God, there is so many things. which can impact this work. You've got this mixed modalities, I told you about that. You've got plenty of stakeholders involved and you don't know what will show up. And sometimes you experience difficulty as a team coach in a session and you don't know what's going on. Because if you're not aware of the systemic context and complex relationships, you might not be able to ask right questions there. I can give you the example. I did the contracting with a team. It seemed that everybody's excited, leader is excited, team is excited, stakeholders were excited. Wonderful, let's get down to work. We contracted for a year of collaboration, meeting once a month for 120, 180 minutes. I usually give people frame of time. I don't give them very specific time because we don't know how long the session might really take. If I contract like it stops 180 minutes, I don't make it longer, but I can get it shorter, yeah, depending on the context, and everything seemed fine. But you know what happened? This team was constantly, getting great ideas, had aha moments in a session, and they had wonderful action plans at the end. We will do this, we will do that. And then we met in a month, nothing happened. Like they didn't stick to their own promises. And what I suffered then, it was the systemic blindness. I couldn't, through what they were sharing with me, I couldn't see the system. I couldn't see that the certain stakeholders, certain higher ups are not allowing the team do this. So we could have the best moments, but if I didn't take into consideration this other stakeholders, and if I didn't initiate finally the discussion, let's talk about external obstacles. Let's talk about how you manage relationships with some higher ups, and who are the blockers for you, and who are your champions, and who are floaters you need to convince to be on your side. If I didn't initiate this discussion, I will be stuck with the team with this beautiful aha eureka moments that didn't get anywhere because they had a lot of ideas, they had a lot of energy, but they couldn't realize it in the system they were in. That's when the team coach needs to be aware of that. Okay, so complex relationships, systemic context, mixed modalities, many stakeholders involved. There is as well difficult dynamics happening there. As a team coach, you need to be able to manage conflicts, to be able to talk about power and privilege, especially when you work in the very diverse teams. So from different social groups, from different nationalities, different genders, different backgrounds. It is so important to understand it, because even though you might think, oh my God, like I don't want to talk about the privilege, that's not important, it will show up there. Power dynamics will definitely show up. There is another thing, unconscious bias, and that's why we need supervision, because you need to be able to spot team members and leaders and the team unconscious bias, but you need to be able as a team coach to see your own unconscious bias. What I'm talking about, I've been working with tech environment for the last 20 years in different roles. So I've seen a lot of things, and I might approach processes with my teams with some preconceived ideas. What it means to run project well, what it means to be effective Scrum Master, for example, what it means to, to be a great leader of the mature team, what it means to build a self-organizing team without the leader. I can come to the process with unconscious biases, and I need to be able, with the help of supervisor, to unpack them. Because if there is no help for me, I will be promoting, of course, unconsciously, certain solutions on the team. And as you know, team coaching is coaching. We are not leading, we're partnering, we're not offering solutions. We're helping the team come up with their solutions. But if I don't understand my biases, I might ask very good questions that lead towards the certain path. Yeah, that even if you ask open-ended question, they might be leading still. They might be getting to the space which you want the team to get. Okay, and we need the team coaching supervision in order to build our own self-awareness and understand our own personal challenges with teams we've got and how they can impact our work. And of course, there is a lot of stuff about ethics. What is ethical? Like, for example, if the team tells us something about the bullying, harassment, illegal procedures in the team, we need to talk about that as well with our supervisor. What can we do then? And we have this concept of limited confidentiality for all the team coaching. Yeah, when you study team coaching, you will be definitely taught about the limited confidentiality. What is confidential and what probably you cannot make confidential because of the legal things. Yeah. So what do we use? Traditionally in supervision, we use something which is called a 7I model. And I'm using this beautiful picture created by Michelle Lucas. However, a 7I model was developed by Peter Hawkins and Robin Schoet many years ago for the supervision in the social work, psychotherapeutic work, and so on. But this is a great model for individual supervision. However, it doesn't actually meet 100% the criteria what a team coach needs because of different modalities, for example. But when you look at this model, these are all the topics we can discuss during team coaching supervision. So when I meet with a team coach, I can ask him about, like, tell me more about your team. And this is, let me just use a little bit of a tool here. I will be drawing, if you don't mind. Okay, high presenter view, and let's do the annotate. Yeah. So if I ask the question, tell me more about the team, tell me more about, about the leader, tell me more about stakeholders. This is a client system, yeah? Stakeholders could be here in the wider context, yeah? What are the other teams? What are the higher ups? They impact you. If I ask a team coach about, so what have you tried with this team? I ask you about the interventions. What tools have you used so far? Yeah, what worked, what didn't work? If I ask you, how do you feel with this team? I'm asking you about these two things, yeah? Like, how do you feel when you work with them? When we explore somatic and psychological elements of this work with this team, yeah? I'm asking you to be in yourself, but as well to understand what is your relationship with the team, if there is a trust or not. And then there is the very interesting space. Let me clean all of this, which is visible so far. This space, that's a very unique. This is a very different from mentor coaching. Actually, we use the relationship between supervisor. So in the context of demo with Fiona and me, we use the relationship between us, how we feel with each other, to see maybe some parallel processes. For example, if we have some challenges in our supervision, is it a mirror of some challenges team coach has with a team? So it is different from mentor coaching. In mentor coaching, mentor coach will never say, I'm sensing that we have difficulty here in setting the contract for our session. I wonder how it relates to what you experience with this team. Yes, mentor coach will never say like, oh, like when you said that, I've got this sudden clench in my stomach. I'm wondering, is it something you can relate to? And then team coach tells you something. So this is very unique. This is very different than mentor coaching. Yeah, so this is very unique for supervision. However, as I told you already, this model is wonderful for it is wonderful for individual supervision, but when we think about the team coaching, is not enough. So I was thinking with my colleagues, they are all accomplished supervisors, Daniela and Evan, Monica Guevara, what is missing? What do we need to actually think about? And we thought, okay, we need to contribute to the two new things here, because of course, we will explore the coach, we will explore the client, we will explore the context. So this is a wider systemic thing. We will definitely look at the current moment. So what is going between supervisor and supervisee, but we've got these two additional elements here. We need to consciously talk about collaborations. So who else is involved there? What other modalities you've tried? How these modalities impacted? Is there any power dynamic between, for example, you and a trainer you invited to the process? And if team coaching is done in pairs or in triads or in groups, because I told you about this big team coaching processes for 30, 40 people. There are usually 5, 6 coaches, team coaches involved in it. So how is this partnership? How is what's going on in between you and your co-coaches or co-coach impacts the process? So we needed something a little bit different. But talking is not learning really. So let's go to the live demo now. So let me stop sharing my presentation and we will move a little bit different. I would like you to actually see how it is done, if it's okay. Yeah, so we're going to see how it is done. Let me stop sharing this. And as I told you, Fiona agreed to be my supervisory client. I will invite all of you to turn off your cameras and mute yourself for the time of demo. Only Fiona will have the camera on. And as well, Fiona, I would like you to go to the view in the top right corner and click something which is called hide non-video participants. When you click the view, you should see it, hide non-video participants. Do you see it? Okay. So then we have a feeling that there are just 2 of us. And Ravi, you can do it as well for the recording purposes. Then people would have exactly the same thing. We are not in the demo yet. I'm just, explaining the thing a little bit. We're going to work with Fiona for 20 minutes. So that's not how usually the session lasts. Because session usually, Fiona, from the experience, lasts usually 1 hour. So you're going to see a bit of it. And to speed up the process, we're going to use something which is called constellations. So I will invite Fiona. And by the way, I will share the screen right now with this board. We will be working on this board together, where Fiona actually, instead of maybe telling a lot of things, and I hope that you are able to see it, she will be using this Miro board to draw us the story a little bit, to speed up the process, okay? So that's the parameter for our work. And as well, Ravi, I would really encourage you to interrupt us after 20 minutes. I will try to measure time myself. I will be looking at the time so we know what the time is. However, please interrupt us because it's very important that participants ask us questions about this. Please ask all possible questions, write them down. You can write them down in the chat if you want. You can write them down on the piece of paper or however you feel like writing them down, because it might be still, if you haven't ever been in supervision, it might be something new for you, okay? So Fiona is already playing a little bit with this. So Fiona, I would just to encourage you to maybe breathe a little bit right now. Let's stop sharing for a second. Okay, we've got a very unusual situation here, and I would like to check up with you. How are you feeling before this demo session?
I am well, thank you. Thank you for asking, Inga.
What can we do, knowing that it's very limited confidentiality here? What can we do so you still have a safe, courageous experience of team coaching supervision? What do you need?
So, and I will give you the situation, but basically I'm looking at how I can help this team as a coach. I've tried a few interventions, but I feel like the team is stuck. And so I'm looking to see what else can I do as a coach to help them bring their fullest self to the executive meetings.
So you very much look into the how, so development, how to help this team that is stuck. When you tell me stuck, what emotions come to you when you think this team is stuck?
They are not playing at their best, so I feel like they're all holding themselves back.
So how does it make you feel? If you freeze the moment, you are with them, you see that they stuck, that they're holding themselves, that it's not like the full potential. How does it make you feel in the moment when you are with them?
I wish I could get into their heads. I wish I could, I know because I've done individual coaching with them. I know they have the potential. I also
Mhm.
know why they're holding back. And even though we have conversations, when they get to that executive meetings with their CEO, they just don't open up.
So you've got this desire, yeah, that's you desire something, that's emotion, like, I want to do something with it. And you've got as well, I'm sensing a little bit of, I don't know, compliance. That like, I know what's going on here. I know that they have, but I understand a little bit. Like I'm sensing that. Is it the right thing in this moment?
For one of the team members, I have that feeling because I know a little bit of their context. But for the others, I don't. And I feel like they are, yeah, I don't know the answer, Inga, and that's really why I'm here. Like, I don't know what they're going through and why they are not bringing their full self to the table.
So there is your desire. It sounds like there is their willingness, and you don't understand. There is this like some kind of something is happening there, something invisible for you. You said, I don't know. So Fiona, we to use the tool, which is very good to showing things which are invisible in the first logical glance. It's called constellation. I will encourage you in a minute using the Miro board or Miro board, depending how you pronounce it, to think that this team and you work with them and everything what is going on is a stage.
Yeah.
And I would like you to use different emojis or stickers or different things which are available there as well. You can turn them around, you can make them bigger, smaller, to draw us the stage. How is the stage now? So show us something without telling, and that's important. You do this internal dialogue when you think about this team, but first show us. I give you about 2 minutes to create this visual, and I will be sharing the screen right now so everybody can see it as well. Show us the stage, and let's agree that here, these are boundaries of the stage. Everything that's visible for you is here. Everything what you know of is here. And as I said, you can make this bigger, you can make it smaller, you can, play a little bit with it. I am not going to talk. I will encourage you as well to do this work in silence. Let's give ourselves 2 minutes to create the stage. Okay, Fiona, so these are the actors on the stage. I understand. So now what I would like you to do is, can you see this arrows here? I would like you to think about each actor on the stage and just get some arrow. And as well, you can make it bigger, smaller, however you want. Yeah, like make it a little bit from the position and show us where the attention is going. So try to show us when the attention is going, and the arrow will show us the attention. If they're towards each other, to the center of the team, somewhere outside, you can add something there as well. So you can play a little bit with this. I can see that already when I asked you about showing the attention, you did some reorganizing of this team a little bit. If you need more arrows, you can just click on one and say duplicate, yeah? It's just clicking and you should have a duplicate, like the pluses, yeah, exactly. Okay. Okay. So maybe if you want to tell me which one is you?
For no
What happened?
particular reason of smiling, but that's me there.
This is you here, like make it bigger. This one, not smiling, the pink one.
No, this one here, Inga. The smiley face.
Let me just get, the smiley face. I need to actually be able to see you as well.
Oh, you can't. Okay.
Yeah. No, I just moved. Yeah, I can see it now. Cool. So this one is you. So what about
This
your
one.
attention? What about your attention? Where is your attention going? You don't have to draw it. Tell me, yeah?
I
Oh,
should
this
just put it as my attention is on the entire team, but I'm also focused. Yeah, I'm focused on the CEO, and I'm focused on, generally I'm looking towards these people more than, let's say, some of these folks.
So tell me what's going on the right, that they are just all going into this direction. Is out there. What's going on there?
So that, I don't know if checked out is the right word, but because they're not checked out for reasons, but in this meeting, they all sort of check out because this individual, the CEO, as they say, it's all roads lead to the CEO. So when they come in there, they just wait for guidance. They wait for everything he has to say. He gives them everything. And so they're not bringing their full self here. So they're all sort of just waiting. Okay, we'll get the guidance and then we'll carry on and go and do it.
Okay. So you somehow describe that they are waiting. How is this waiting for CEO's direction connects to your question that they are stuck and then you want to help them?
Yeah, because like you said, right, there are different modalities before team coaching. So I've done 360 with them, I've done the Hogan with them, and individual team coaching with a few of these. And I know from all of that data together that, let's say, this guy has got huge potential. The blue, if you can see my thing.
Yeah, I can see that one.
He's got huge potential. He agrees, the CEO agrees, but when he comes to the table, he's not there. He's waiting for direction. And so I've tried a few things, as you can imagine, to try and explore why. And he does have the feeling he wants to do it. He knows he has the ability. The other guys are looking at him and he knows he has the ability. But when he comes here, he doesn't. And I don't know as a team coach what else I can do to help him. Like the CEO told me, this guy is so good. If he bangs his fist on the table and asks me for something, I will give it to him. But this guy doesn't bang his fist on the table.
Yeah. So I wonder, because it sounds like you've got a lot of awareness of what's going on there. You as well got to know them better through 360 Hogan assessment and, individual coaching and so on. How all of this knowledge you gathered outside of the team coaching is helping you?
I better understand them. I understand also from doing the 360 across. I also understand the team dynamics, the culture of the company, the culture of this staff, as they call themselves. And so there is something underlying there when we've already presented it to the CEO to say, hey, it's starting with you, things have to change. But we've been at this for a little bit. And while everybody acknowledges it, I don't see that needle moving to the extent that everybody wants to do it. Individually, they all say it.
Yeah. Fiona, can I share something?
Yes, please.
It is kind of interesting. It is connected as well with emojis we use. But when I'm listening to you, I see only heads. And everything what you told me is very logical, is in heads. There's 360. CEO declares that he wants this guy to put his fist on the table. It's all very logical. It's all we say. I wonder if you could add something which actually these people are feeling in the moment, not thinking, not that CEO says that he wants, that this guy is smart and he knows, but I understand them. What is the emotion present in this team? And as well, if you want, Fiona, you can use the visual to represent it. If you're missing something, you can go to stickers there, but show me not logical thing, but emotional state of this team right now.
You know, the one big thing that comes to my mind when I'm doing this is, where am I here? Is this, okay? Each one, because I've got to know them, each one is very fond of the other person. They have a lot of regard for each other. And that, I think, is the overriding. It's definitely there.
Okay. So Fiona, where too much love is bad? When too much love and regard is bad.
Yeah. And I think that could be one of the reasons why people don't open up, because they have a lot of regard. They have immense regard for the CEO. He's very good at his job. All that is great.
Yeah.
And he has driven the company. It's a startup. He has driven it to where it is. And so I think there's a bit of that push and pull that's happening there. The guy knows it. I have regard for him. It's worked so well so far.
Yeah, we admire our CEO. He knows what he's doing. We're waiting for his guidance. Yeah. Okay. So let's imagine, Fiona, that you've got now power to change this stage. I would like you to show me one change as well. Use some metaphor, some visual to show us this. What change needs to be done to get this team unstuck? When you look at it right now, you see this big heart, you see this energy going there. What needs to be changed so this team actually starts to be accountable, starts doing and working? Yeah. Oh, what is this new? Oh,
I'll try and explain. Don't go by my things. But basically what I'm saying is this team needs to come together. They need to start doing what they need to do of their own without, well, there's always the supervision of the CEO. I get that. But after they've sort of decided, they know. So he's given them their vision, right? He's given them the vision. So he's spoken the vision to them. They work on it and then they go back to him. I think that's going to be, in my mind, the ideal way that each one can do what they do without that overarching influence of the CEO on a very, very, at every level. That's sort of what's in my head.
So you see that in order for this team coaching to work well, they need to grow and the CEO perspective needs to get smaller. There is still heart, respect, and love there in this team. At the same time, they need to grow there. So,
Yeah.
Fiona, as you know, supervision got 3 spaces we usually visit. One is restorative, so it's about well-being of a coach. How do you feel there and so on, if you feel like something is not working for you. There is this normative space when we talk about ethics and standards and so on. And there is developmental space when we talk about skills and tools. So what would you normally use with a coaching client to help them grow self-confidence? Fiona, what would you do as a coach with a coaching clients to help them grow in confidence, in courage?
Yeah. I guess just, I don't see any issues around the ethics, etc. The individuals, again, development could be both ways, right? I'm not their domain. They're very good at what they do. And then this whole thing around, I guess I would work with them more on who they are and where they, where they're seeing themselves in the larger picture. So I think somewhere, like you said, on their confidence, on something deep inside them, to be able to make this change. It's not going to come from outside. It has to come from them feeling internally that their domain plus what they have inside them is going to take them far.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sensing as well anything from normative space, but I still think that there is the space of tools and skills and trying, like, use your skill set in order to help them grow in confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you did Hogan with them and 360. How did you take advantage in the process of these tools to help them grow in self-confidence?
So, and this is an ongoing process, so I still have the opportunity to work more, but they have seen what their people are saying about them. And let's take this particular individual. I'm just using one individual. That individual can see the blue one. Yeah. That one can see that people have very high regard for him, for his knowledge, for the way he comes across, for the person that he is. And so I think I'm going to use that. He's already seen it. He's created his own goals using the 360 and the Hogan. So it's not that he doesn't know it. I think what I will do coming out of this is I'm thinking, Inga, is do a little bit more with him on personal goals. I want to try and connect and see where else he is, where else is this behavior showing up, right? Is it only at work? Is it elsewhere? What's holding him back? And then try and see if we can look at him as an individual, as a person internally, and then extrapolate it and bring it to the executive team table. That's sort of what's coming to me as I'm thinking about it. Where else is he showing up like this? Is it just here, or is there more to it?
So I'm hearing now that you feel that adding individual work with this person, this particular, the most accomplished, the blue one here represented as a blue one, individual work on their individual goals, their personal goals, can help them bring in more confidence, and it will have this ripple effect on the team as well, that they will speak. Okay. Each supervision, apart from reflective space, as well got the space, we call it like the teaching room.
Yeah.
And I would, just because I want to be mindful of time, I want to just share one thing with you according to competencies. When we look at the trust and safety building, we need to help the team as team coaches, and it is explicitly said there, to get their own voice.
Yes.
However, it is as well in competencies, it is said that at the beginning, team coach might be a little bit more direct. So participants of a team coaching eventually will get the way to give feedback to each other, and they will speak up more because they will learn through your modeling. But at the beginning, a lot of team coaches actually are more courageous with their interventions and feedback. So I would definitely encourage you as well. You are here. Yeah, this is you, as far as I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would encourage you to reflect what courageous interventions, and I call it TOOT, time out of time. What time interventions can you do with the team? So stopping the team in the work during the team coaching process and actually think like, what's going on right now? Like, what can you do with this insight? I'm sensing that there is a lot of knowledge here in this room. How will you advocate for that with a CEO? So you can do a little bit more courageous interventions in the moment, so the team can learn as well from you how to speak up about some things, okay? That you are not the team, but you can, through your role modeling, you can show them a little bit of what it means to speak up. And that it doesn't have to be dangerous, that it
Thank
could
you
be
very
just
much,
making
Inga.
observation. Yeah, I'm thinking about it because you draw yourself here. So and I believe that there is a message that you've got the role to play here as well. What do you think about what I just shared, Fiona?
Yes, no, I completely agree with you. I wanted to check in with you on one question as well. I like what you said. I like the word courageous, so that's sticking with me. Do you think it would be okay for me to ask the CEO to sort of, he does join us in these team coaching because that's the team, it's the C-suite team, so understandably he's there. But given this behavior that I'm seeing and the whole dynamics, right, that are happening, I'm wondering, would it, as part of the courageous actions that you mentioned, could I possibly ask the CEO to step out of some of those meetings so that I'm able to, so that the team's able to grow within themselves and then bring that back? How do you think that will, and is that even correct given that he is part of the team, that is the C-suite team? I don't want to break it up, but I'm just wondering, that influence is so high.
I see the desire for him to step out, and you did it a little bit, but making him smaller and putting him a little bit on the side. And yes, you're right. According to competencies, team is the whole unit. So leader and team member is the whole unit. However, in a lot of different schools of team coaching, you as well can communicate with a team leader. So I was wondering, what could you do to help him step out mentally in the sessions? Like, because he still takes too much space there, and as I'm hearing. So what can you do to help him understand that he needs to be there physically, because he's a part of the team, but make him a little bit smaller? What can you do?
He has lots on his plate. He should just bring his laptop and keep working there. But, he just has to. And I think the other thing, I've spoken to him already, and I will speak again, is just allowing people to run their mouth, in the sense, in a good way. Let them speak, right? There's a lot of intervention that I see happening, interjections actually, by him. So maybe that's the other part that I will take back to him, is let people finish speaking. You still might have the greatest idea of the lot, but let's give them the opportunity without, because he is perception driven and he is quick. He's very, very smart. But that doesn't allow people to, bring their thoughts out, see that it's not working, right? Sometimes when you speak, you realize, oh, that idea is not the best. So maybe that's the other thing I'm thinking about, Inga.
Fiona, would it be okay if I suggest a team coaching tool?
Yes,
which you
please.
can use as well? Okay. So there is something which is called fishbowl in team coaching. And you probably heard about it. So for the benefit of people who are watching us, maybe I will say a little bit about that. So fishbowl in the visual would be something like this. Yeah, like this. So you introduce it to the team and say, today we're going to have a fishbowl experience. So you as a leader, you sit there. If it's a virtual session, mute yourself and turn off your camera and so on. If it's physical session, sit in a corner and just observe. We are in a fishbowl and we discuss the topic. Your thing is just to note down how it makes you feel, note down your ideas, So note down your emotions, your ideas, your reaction to what you hear, but give the team space for 30 minutes, depending how long is the session, 45 minutes to work and observe something. So you create the artificial space for a leader to be just in observer mode. And hopefully you can later ask him for feedback about that experience. How was it for him? What was difficult there? How he can have more moments like that when he's more observing and listening, because usually leaders get something great out of it. Yeah. They see like, oh my God, I saw that you can solve it by yourself, that you get really great thinking, or I actually felt that I need to control it. Yeah. So it's very important to invite the leader to note down his emotion and thought process when it's happening. And I'll be honest with you, Fiona, it is more effective when we do it virtually. Because when we do it in a one space, when we are all in the same room, when we do it first time, people still, there's this leader sitting in the corner.
The glances, absolutely.
Yeah. But it can give you this space. He's still part of the process. He's still there. He's still building self-awareness as a leader there. Yet you help them to separate a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Good.
So I want to be mindful of time as well. I want to give some observers, because we are in this fishbowl experience too, to ask some questions. So I sense that there is still a lot of things to explore. But at this moment, when we are to finish right now, what is something you're taking away from our today's supervision, Fiona?
Two things, Inga, like the courageous intervention is really lovely. And I need to see what else I need to do to help the team. So things like this, like the fishbowl. So that's one. And two is is also sort of working with the individuals, like you said, and, seeing what is it that how is it that they operate, and then how do they bring that same self to these meetings? Is that different? Is that similar? I think those are the two that are coming up for me, and the role modeling, of course. So I have to also I'll be more conscious of how I am showing up there, and how that can then, how does that play out as a role model for some of these leaders? Some of them are already, operating in a good space.
Yeah. So I would like to share with you that I really, really am grateful for you courageously stepping in. So that's an interesting parallel process, because it takes courage to stand in front of peers and to talk about the case when you feel that you are stuck. So we've got one parallel process. Another parallel process is that actually we are in a fishbowl experience, you and me, and maybe some whatever version of a fishbowl experience that can let the leader to observe more might be the way to go. Yeah, like how to help him be more observant and listen. That's what we invited participants in today's sessions to do.
Yes.
To listen and observe. That's another parallel process. And you know what? I actually feel safe. So I'm thinking like, I feel safe here with you, even though demos are stressful for me as a supervisor, because it's just the, the part of it. But somehow with this group here, I feel safe. And I was wondering, what could it mean for your work with this team? Yeah. And I'm just leaving you with this space as well. Yeah. How to help yourself feel safe in this. And I'm really, really grateful for you stepping in and sharing this case with us. Okay. So
thank you. And thank you for your supervision. It does help, and the mirror board definitely does. So thank you.
Thank you. I would welcome everybody back, and maybe turn on your cameras on. I would definitely encourage you to think about some questions you might have. And I was wondering, Ravi, would it be good to put people in a breakout room, like very quickly for like 8 minutes? I know that it's quick, but in breakout room, usually we are a little bit more courageous. And we ask questions that can challenge something and help us learn more. So maybe let's have this 8 minutes breakout rooms, so you can think about questions you can ask me. So the purpose of this breakout room you're going to be in is think about the questions you can ask regarding the demo, something was not clear for you, or something you would like to understand more, or something you would like to get to know more of, yeah? And as well, if you found something particularly difficult to understand or not according to how would you do this, please as well talk about it, yeah? Because it's the space of learning. Okay, so Ravi, are we ready? Okay, I'm not joining the room, yeah? Just letting you know. And Fiona, I would encourage you not to join as well. Okay. So I'm checking if they're all, yeah, there is the room 2, we've got just one person there, Raka. So maybe we can, because Ashwin and Veena are not joining, so maybe we will move Raka to a different room, to room 1.
Yeah, sure. Move to room 1, yeah.
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 Okay. So we've got, yeah, so I think that Pallavi and Ashwin are more on the listening mode, so if they don't want to, they don't have to, yeah, to participate in this. Oh, okay, now we moved a little bit, yeah, so they will have some space to discuss, great.
Yeah.
So Fiona, how are you feeling right now? You're muted.
Hello.
Yeah. Okay. So we still get a few minutes left here. I'm really curious about the questions which showed up, or some doubts or some inquiries. What would you like to share with a bigger group here? Okay, Nagesh?
So when it comes to the IT projects, right, you see the Scrum teams, coaches, I mean, right, what kind of assignment you usually deal with? Because as usually the teams already have the Scrum Masters, they may be facilitating a few ceremonies and maybe conducting some workshops. What kind of role as a team coach you will be playing in IT context?
In IT context?
Yes, in maybe in the development projects or maybe in IT industry especially.
So when in IT, when the company follows any kind of agile methodology, generally they have Scrum Masters, which I feel that they are some kind of team coaches. However, when I'm usually invited, because I'm an external person, so I'm usually invited an external body, and when we do the in IT environment, when we do the team, then Scrum Master is in the process. When there is a leader, because sometimes it's self-organizing team, so there is no clear leader there, but if there is a leader, it's invited there. So I am like an external thinking partner for them. So I don't have such a, because Scrum Master still combines team coaching with a little bit team mentoring and team consultation. Me as an external person, and according to ICF as well, team competencies, I am mostly a coach. I can combine modalities, but I help the team to be effective long-term. Whatever they bring to the space, if it's like, let's finish this project, we have the conflict in the team, let's develop that. We've got the technical that how to close it and so on. We've got the important strategic initiative, or like Fiona now in a startup, yeah, there is something in this leadership team we need to get unstuck to in order to speak up more, to grow. These are the goals, but overall, my role as a team coach is always to make team more effective long-term. So I take advantage of whatever is out there. I usually ask the team if they have some assessments done. And if they tell me, yes, we did MBTI, or we did this, or we did, I don't know, Clifton Graham strength, like I tell them, yeah, bring it on. I understand methodologies of those. If the team hasn't done anything, I offer them as well the stuff I'm certified in. So Capfinity, Strength Finder on a different level, team individual, and so on, DISC on the team level, and so on. And Peril model. Peril is David Clutterbuck's tool and assessment built for team coaching especially, or different kind of 360s I collaborate with, like Korn Ferry 360, for example. So whatever team says, yes, and it is good to use some assessments. However, you need to remember that if you are new with a team and you bring on some assessment, I don't know if the team will really have a trust and safety with you at the very beginning to share everything what they see in this assessment. So when you do the assessment at the beginning, I would encourage you to go back to it, to the results of this assessment in the middle of the process again, when you have already safety built, and now when you understand and you did some courageous interventions with them, and go back to this and says, okay, how do you look at this data right now? So do it at the beginning, just to get to know them a little bit better, whatever assessment you are using, or take advantage of assessment they have. But know that you being an external body, external team coach for them, that you need some time to build trust and safety, go back to the results in the middle. But that's, and I guess for me, that's the main difference. I don't consult them. I don't give them solutions. I'm not like a Scrum Master, because I'm an external person. And that's aligned with the ICF competencies. As I shared with Fiona, I might be a little bit more direct at the beginning, but I'm more direct about what I'm seeing. For example, I noticed that when you talk about it, there are certain people who are okay with this exchange, and certain people seem to be tense. What are you noticing here? So instead of calling out the other, is clearly conflict between you two. So I make this kind of interventions later, but then I help the team makes intervention, but I don't give them solutions if you ask about that. So it's a little bit different than the Scrum Master. Okay, Anurag, what about you?
Yeah, Inga. So first of all, thank you so much for the demo and the entire piece on team coaching. My question is more about, when we do one-to-one, there's more clarity for me as a coach, and I'm sharing my perspective because, there's only one coachee or client, and easier to manage or track the development or outcomes, etc., with the client. Now, when we're looking at a team and you're looking at, say, a minimum of 6 people or 8 people, how do you actually manage these diverse, how does a coach manage the development of a team? And, what are the practical ways of achieving, if you can give some example of what sort of outcomes do you achieve and how do you manage the simultaneously these 6 or 8 or more diverse team members?
So first of all, I have a practice not to work alone. So I work with a co-coach. So, and as well, the bigger team, we work with a bigger team. Sometimes, however, the organization can tell you we don't have money for more than one team coach because that takes money. So it's okay, but it helps me to have a team coach because one person can lead the observation, like to have a discussion and so on, but the other can actually have some valid observation, like see things which I'm not seeing. And our collaboration with a team coach helps me out a little bit as well. I am another thing, which is very important. I am aware that as a team coach, I am blind. So I start with this approach. So I always tell clients, I'm your team coach, but I have certain blindness here. So sorry if I'm going to ask you naive and silly questions. No, they are not naive and silly, but we say that. Because I have system blindness. I'm not with you there. I've got as well this kind of process thinking blindness. I might assume that some things comes before the other. And I might have the whole time blindness. So I will ask you a lot of questions. So I start with them that all the questions I ask are okay. I contract it. But I as well assume it, that I am blind. And I might be seeing things which are not like they are. So I would say that if you really want to be sure that you work with a team, as a team coach, you work well, you need to work on your interventions. Have the courage to ask all of the questions. If something doesn't make sense, you can say like, I don't understand what's going on here right now. I see this pattern here behave, like, tell me, because maybe I'm not seeing something. And you know that I am probably partially blind here. So help me see what's going on in between you, or what's going on that you like. I see all of these eager people here working towards a goal. However, they are not, you know, committing to anything. Tell me what is the obstacle? You see it, I cannot see it. Yeah, so that's one way. So be sure that you're blind, talk about your blindness with a team. If you can, work with other coaches. So you can, you know, what, 2 pair of eyes or 3 pair of eyes, it's better than just 1 pair of eye. We have like, I don't think that we have more time for questions because this is 8:01 and I want to be mindful of your time. However, Ravi, if there are some more questions appearing after this session, you can redirect them to me and I will be happy to respond in writing as well. And this question can help definitely Ravi to think what other sessions could be useful for you as a community here around the team coaches, yeah? So I really, really am grateful to Fiona for her participation. I'm grateful to Ravi for organizing it. And I'm so happy that I heard some very valid questions. And I would love to have half an hour more with you because this is such a rich topic. So thank you. And if you have questions, please write them to Ravi. I would be really, really interested in hearing them and answering them as well.
Thank you, Inga, for the answer, and thank you so much for the explanation.
Thank you. Thank you.
So thank you everyone for joining us this evening. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you in our next month's team and group coaching community of practice. And thank you, Inga. I personally have a lot of takeaways from our masterclass today. And also a big thank you, Fiona, for volunteering for the team coaching supervision.
And as well, if I'm very active on LinkedIn, please reach out. This is always the place where you can find me and ask questions. And I think, Fiona, LinkedIn is the space we met. Yeah, as well. Yeah, so that's the space when you can find a lot of team coaches and a lot of team coaching supervisors as well. So thank you.
I did come to